my name is Bukky. Welcome to my channel. You're the one place where you learn about personal finance and career. So that is all we talk about in this particular channel. All right, and today I'll be talking about why you should not ignore Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Yes, and that's why. And why am I talking about why do I think we have to have this discussion? It's because it's a trend, and what you don't do about trends is that you don't just close your eyes as if they never exist. No, you open your eyes, look at it, weigh it, see it as an opportunity or something you want to pass on before you can do it. But it will be a disadvantage yourself if you totally ignore that trend. Okay, and I know why you are here today. You are here today because this question is the question of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin is something that you would like to know more about. You want to even know, so what exactly, why should I even invest in it? Everybody's doing it. Why should I be here? Do you know the good news? The good news is that you are one of the early adopters. There are so many people out there, right, who they've not even heard about this topic, right? And then from research, only 1.3% of the world population, right, has some kind of crypto wallet or crypto address. That's the value out there, and that means that we are still in the early stage of this particular topic. And that's why I would say congratulations that you're here, you're researching about this topic, and I will try as much as possible to help you to make a proper decision for yourself if you should ignore it or not. Okay, so without much ado, don't forget to click on this video, like it, yes, and subscribe, drop your comment, ask me questions. I'll be more than happy to reply you. Welcome back. All right, so the number one thing why you should not ignore Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies is because a number of institutions, right, are getting involved, are getting engaged, are buying Bitcoin, are using the blockchain technology for their business, right? And that should send a message to you. I mean, if companies that are wealthier than you, that are more exposed than you, individuals of high net worth, right, who have insight to certain things, who have access to certain things, are getting into something, that should send you a particular message that there has to be something there, right? So that is the first thing. And then, for example, MicroStrategy, in this last week, MicroStrategy is an enterprise software company in the US. They bought $1 billion worth of cryptocurrencies in the last week, of Bitcoin rather. That's a lot. It's a lot of money, but then if you look at it, I mean, these are companies, these are publicly owned companies, and this company, when, for example, when they invested in the first set of Bitcoins last year, of course they made some losses, right? But then their shares in the last 1 year had gone like 400% higher. The share price had gone like 400% higher, which means that it's something to look out for. It's not something that you want to neglect. That's one. The second thing is that, for example, PayPal, a lot of so if you don't know MicroStrategy, PayPal, right? PayPal will enable cryptocurrency as a funding source for purchases in 2021. Offers its merchants and buyers the opportunity to actually transact in Bitcoin. Okay, yes. So, just pay attention to those things. And then the more we have institutions getting involved in it, the more relevant it will be in the future, right? So that is the first thing you want to know. That is the first thing you want to pay attention to, and why you should not ignore Bitcoin. The second reason why you should not ignore Bitcoin or the other cryptocurrencies is because more experts and more institutions, according to Bloomberg, says that they consider Bitcoin not necessarily as a instrument of exchange like fiat currency, but they would classify it as an asset, right? So most of the articles, based on my research, a lot of them, the top asset managers are saying, they see it more in the terms of, as an asset. And that what that means is that, what happens to assets generally is that they are expected to increase in value. It means that the worth of a particular asset tomorrow is expected to be better than what the worth is today. And that is why, you don't want to just neglect it, because it's not just a tool to transact, but it's also an asset. And an asset is, you are having an asset because you want to get some value returns from it. And that is what you should, why you should not ignore Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, because if you have it as an asset, right, in the future, down the line, years, or I don't know, you can gain some returns in terms of value from it. And that is why you should not ignore Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. The third reason why you should not ignore Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies is because it is liquid, it is smart, right? And what is the importance of that? It's important because, for example, if you are into, investing in stocks, in the stock market, or in other fixed income and all of those things, there are certain times you can transact them. So only on business days, only at a certain period, market open, market closes, those periods, that is the only time you can actually transact it. However, for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, you can transact them anytime T. Yes, anytime T. And that is so good because, on weekends, you can be on the beach and then you're like, okay, I want to, buy this or, sell it off. Anytime in your, at night, in the middle of the night, like I said, anywhere, you can buy it on vacation. You can do it, like, you can transact it anytime. Night, business closed, opened, anytime. And that is, that is a value that other assets do not have, right? And that's one important thing why you should not ignore Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. The fourth reason why you should not ignore Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies is because the regulators are getting interested. Yes, the government are getting interested. For example, one of the US Federal Reserve chair, right, like the top people in the Treasury Department of US are saying that, that the US Central Bank is looking at digital currency. But they said they're not in a hurry. Okay, fine. But that means that people are talking. That means that they are getting interested. So you don't want to be left behind because you don't want to wait until they create their own digital currency because, you're already in the know, right? So getting in the know now gives you an edge, right? Gives you an edge until it becomes popular to everyone. And of course, some countries are, very open to it, while some other ones are not so open to it. But we'll see how that plays. For example, in Nigeria, cryptocurrencies are banned, yes. And in India, they are banning cryptocurrencies. However, the government is trying to create its own cryptocurrency. Okay, we'll see that's how that goes. But the most interesting part for me, or why this is important, is because at least the regulators, the government is getting interested, which means that we would see some things in the future, right? We'll see some changes in that regard. And that is why I would not ignore Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. All right. That's the fourth reason. And the fifth reason why you should not ignore Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, because, you can start with as little as you have, right? You don't have to have, tens of thousands of dollars before you start investing. Based on the platform you're using, you can start with as little as you have currently. I have a friend who he was in school and he was trading back as 2016, 2017. He was using Bitcoin, he was trading Bitcoin, right, to pay for some of his living expenses at school. Yes, and which means, and he was doing this not with so much money, but the little that he had, he was using it and he was getting some changes from some coins from it, and he was having fun with it. So, and that's why you don't want to ignore, because it doesn't cost you so much to start investing or to start trading it that is what you want to do. But then at the end of the day, all of this point is to show you that you don't want to just ignore it and assume that thing is not there. I assume the Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies is not there. All right, guys, so I'm going to stop there today, and I hope that I've been able to like help you to understand why you should not ignore Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies out there. And before I go, I would like to ask you, what is your own thought? What do you think about this topic? And before I go, I would like to know, what do you think about this topic? Do you think it's something that you can ignore, or do you think it's something that you will be interested in and you want to pay a closer attention to? And if you want to pay a closer attention to it, why do you want to pay closer attention to it? And if you think, oh, it's something that I don't think I want to do right now because I think it's just a hoax, it's just a trend, it's a bubble, it will burst, and all that, tell me why you think so as well. I'll be more than happy to read your responses. All right, so don't go away, stay back on my channel. There are some other videos that you can see there that you will also learn from, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. And one last thing before I go. Okay, so if you want to join my mailing list and receive news and updates about what is happening in the investment world, thoughts and all of that, join my mailing list. The link is below, and I'll be more than happy, to stay in touch with you and to encourage you on this journey of, wealth creation, because you know what, ain't nobody wants to stay poor.